And on mute, I think Tad's able to hear us right now. Tad, are you able to hear us right now, Coach?
I can hear you.
Okay, fantastic. Well, congratulations here tonight. 18-point win. You're up by 11 at the half. Second half, you knew Stanford's going to make a run. They pulled within 6, but you guys answered. Let's get your thoughts on this one.
Well, I thought we got a little bit our defense took a step backwards the first 8 minutes of that second half. We wanted to win the first 4-minute segment. We tied that. We just traded baskets with them. We got in that trading baskets mode, Mark, and you can't do that. But finally, we got some kills, we got some stops, and we were able to break that thing open to 18 and take it home from there. But McKinley, right, he wasn't going to let us lose tonight. He just, 14, 9 and 9. The kid was special, and we fought through foul trouble again with Evan and with Dallas, and Tristan De Silva gave us great minutes off the bench, I thought. Eli Parker made a couple big shots like he's been known to do for us. So really great team victory. I wasn't expecting one going away like this, to be honest with you, but we'll take it. Our guys were dialed in. Best defensive execution of a game plan that we've had all year. Coach Greer put this scout together, did a great job, and our guys executed it to a T.
Well, and to that point, Oscar De Silva, he got his 22, the leading scorer of the Pac-12, and he hurt you a couple of times, but nobody else outside of that really got loose on you guys.
Right. Yeah. Jones got a couple threes early in that second half. We were really afraid of him because he's a great shooter. And Oscar's one of the best players in this league. There's just no two ways about it. He's a load. He can drive it from the perimeter. He can shoot threes. We want him shooting threes, even though he might make a couple. But man, he gets in that lane, and he drew 10 fouls tonight. He drew 10 fouls, and this is another game where we couldn't get to the foul line, Mark. We never got in the bonus, never even sniffed the bonus in the second half. Our guys fought through it. We executed. I thought we used the clock well down the stretch, without getting tentative and not trying to score.
There are two numbers on this box score that I'm assuming you're pretty happy about. You go +9 rebounding in this ball game, and then on the offensive end, there's such balance, Ted. You had 7 or 8 or 9 guys that gave you 8, 9, 10 points right in that area.
Yeah, very, very. Again, when this team shares the ball and we don't care who gets the credit or who gets the shots, we've got, because we got so many weapons, and whether it's inside, whether it's on the perimeter, and so I was really pleased. And again, another 49% against a really, really good defensive team. Stanford's a good defensive basketball team. You have to earn and work for your baskets against them. So the rebounding, the offensive efficiency, and then we held them to 39% under the 40% that we shoot for. So overall, just a great effort, and our guys were dialed in. And I told them after the game, Mark, good teams split on the road in Pac-12 play. Great teams sweep. And we did the first part. Now we've got to turn our attention to Cal, which we'll do, tonight, and prepare for them tomorrow. And then we need a great effort again on Saturday.
All right. Well, Coach, congratulations. Like you said, they're not easy to get away from home, and you got this one, so good job.
Thank you.
All right. That's it.
Okay, we'll continue with everybody else. Rod Mackey's got a question for Coach. Go ahead.
Yeah, Tad, you talk about that key stretch in the second half. Jariah with a couple big ones, a three-pointer.
Hold on. Rod, Coach, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. You just do the phone.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Rod.
Yeah, Tad, I wanted to talk about that. Jariah really was the key in that second half when they made that run. He hit the big three and then the dunk to kind of give you guys some cushion. And also, I just wanted to ask you, you touched on the road trip, but the key to winning that first game of the road trip to kind of get that momentum going.
Absolutely, and Stanford is man. They are. I had such respect for them. They had all their guys in uniform tonight. Now Dejon Davis didn't play. Bryce Wills is still knocking some rust off his game. Zaire Williams has been out for a week or so. So they're not at mid-season form, even though it's mid-season. But again, Stanford's been through a lot this year in terms of what they've had to deal with. With the COVID restrictions that they're dealing with in their county. And but this is a team. I'm telling you, this Stanford team is as talented as any in the league. And come tournament time, they're if they have all hands on deck, they are a terrific basketball team. So this is a good win. And you're right, Rod, about Jariah Horn. Big threes, that dunk in transition. He and Mckinley kind of have a thing in transition. Mckinley looks for him, and again, 14 points, 9 assists, and 9 rebounds from your point guard is pretty good. and guys like Uriah have to make shots for that to happen, and he did tonight.
Okay, Jake Shapiro.
Hey, Tad, you said last week that it was really about the response from your team after that tough loss at home. And looking not only at the response from your team the last two games, but the response within this game where you guys took a punch and then immediately took off to your largest lead of the game. You know, is that a great sign for you guys going forward that you continue to respond to these tests?
Yeah, and Jake, look, I think it's beyond the point where we are talking, you know, the Utah game was in the past. I mean, believe me, I think about it more often than I should, but our players don't, and that's a good thing. So I think what you're seeing with this team is a bunch of seniors who know what happened last year. They had the NCAA tournament pulled out from underneath them last year. They don't want to let that happen again this year, and they're sacrificing off the court. They're sacrificing for each other on the court. This is a really cohesive group and a mature group.
Hey, Pat Rooney.
Hey, Coach. Just wondering with kind of the approach defensively with Stanford. You mentioned some of the guys that they've kind of gotten back from injury, maybe not up to 100% yet. But when you're facing this team, you know, how much of the focus is I don't want to say letting De Silva get his, but making sure those complementary players don't get off.
Yeah, we certainly don't want De Silva to get his. We want them to earn every basket that they get, Pat. But you know, I think a lot of it has to do with the execution of the game plan. You know, the whole key, first thing on the board was take them out of transition, which we did a really good job of. And then the second thing was we have to protect the paint. And if you look, they had 24 points in the paint tonight. And that is a really, really good number defensively against Stanford because they put such pressure on the paint. You know, Oscar De Silva drew 10 fouls himself tonight. They really put pressure on the rim. So last year when we played here, they had over 50 points in the paint, just as a basis of comparison. So our guys did a great job of executing the game plan, holding to 39%, 51 points. And we did that by the execution. Again, that Coach Greer put the scouting report together, and our guys executed it to a T.
Hey, Joe, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. How are you? Great win tonight. I thought McKinley and De Silva kind of had a little personal battle. I know they don't play the same position, and it's a team game. But could you talk a little bit? Was he a little motivated tonight to – because when people say Pac-12 Player of the Year, I also think of McKinley Wright, not just De Silva.
Well, you should think about McKinley Wright, and you should think about Oscar De Silva. They're both great players. But I you know, the thing I know about, you know, I only know Oscar through his brother Tristan. I don't know him well, but one thing I know about him, he's a team guy, and McKinley Wright is a team guy. So I personally don't think that entered either one of their minds tonight. Oscar wanted to help his team win, and McKinley wanted to help his team win. And they both, you know, did a great job of trying to make that happen. And I just felt like McKinley's supporting cast tonight, you know, the guys we mentioned, Evan Batty, Dallas Walton, Uriah Horn, Eli Parker, Maddox Daniels, Tristan De Silva. They did a better job, I think, than maybe Oscar's supporting cast. But that credit goes to our guys.
Hey, Justin.
Dad, you know, since the game in Seattle a couple weeks ago, when you guys were just kind of an inexplicable 1 of 17 or 1 of 18 from the 3-point line, the team as a whole has really been heating up, been very hot from long range. Was that Washington game just so much of an outlier that it's really not worth kind of diving deeper into? Or since then, have you noticed any kind of components as to how your guys have been able to just drain it from long range so effectively?
No, we got good shooters on this team. I think that game was an outlier. There's no doubt, because a lot of those looks at Washington were good looks. They just didn't go in. The difference between the team in Seattle a couple weeks ago that you're referring to, the Buff team, and the team tonight and last Monday in Boulder against Oregon State, is they are committing themselves to the defensive end. And if our guys would have played defense in Seattle like they played defense tonight, we don't lose that game. I mean, it's not that's just the facts. But we didn't. We let Washington have their way with us, and you get in that trading basket mode, which is what we did at Washington. And comes down to the end and they make a play, you don't, you lose a one possession game, and it's one that is haunts you. But all we can do is move forward and understand and learn from that. And for the way our teams played the last couple of times out defensively, and to hear them in the locker room after the game talking about that amongst themselves, not a coach talking about it, tells me that we're on the right road here.
Okay, we're going to go two more real quick, Pat Rooney and then Neil Welk to follow.
Hey, Tad, I've avoided asking about McKinley's milestones until he got closer, but with the big rebounding game tonight, he's on the cusp of 1,600 points, 100 assists, and going to have 600 rebounds here soon. Just, you said so much about the guy over the years, but to hit those plateaus, I guess, across that say about him.
Well, look, Pat, I mean, he's putting himself in, usually you say he's in elite company, right? He's at an elite level. There's no company with him. He's the only one in the history of the Pac-12 to do that. And granted, a lot of the great UCLA players played, when freshmen were ineligible. And we've had some one and dones here in this league as of late. But you think of all the 4-year guys that have come through the Pac-12, and nobody, he's in a category by himself. And that says it all. And the kid's been doing it from his freshman year all the way through his senior year, through injuries, through, he's toughed it out. I don't know what to say. I've said it before, he's a once in a lifetime player to coach.
Neil, go ahead.
Hey, Tad, just really quick, can you talk about Eli Parker's defense, not just tonight, but over the last three games? It seems like he's really stepped it up and kept perimeter guys from being much of a threat.
Yeah, he has. There's no doubt, Neil. And I thought Deshaun Schwartz did a great job tonight on Dallaire. Dallaire's a kid that's really hurt us in the past, and Deshaun started on him. Eli started on Jones, because Jones is a guy that he didn't play against us in Boulder. He can really heat up from three, Neil, and we had to make sure that didn't happen. He got a couple of them. They ran a nice play for him out of a timeout in the second half. He knocked one down. But Eli is he's a lockdown defender. It's something he's taken pride in. His teammates appreciate that about him. And when you have players like that who accept their role and understand what their value is to the team, it's really special. And Eli's value to this team is immeasurable, and you don't see it on the stat sheet. You see it, if you watch the game, you watch him guard, and he's made big open shots for us. But he's really coming into his own. Really proud of Eli Parker. And and this is a big breakout year for him. I've always said, when sophomores become juniors, it's time for them to play like upperclassmen. And Eli's playing like an upperclassman.